Just sharing my screen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for All Illinois Students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you all for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we start. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. But however, you can always ask those questions and they'll be able to answer them. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at IACAC.org. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, IACAC.org. I'll now turn it over to my presenters.
Okay, there we go. Hi, all. Welcome to Iowa State's virtual presentation, and thank you for making time to learn more about us. My name is Diana Espadro, and I am one of the two Illinois admissions counselors. My territories are the city of Chicago and the nearby suburbs. I'll let my colleague introduce herself, and we will begin our program. Kelly, you're muted.
Here we go, do it again. I'm Kelly Allen. I'm also the second Illinois regional representative. I work based in the Chicago suburbs and northwest area and the far northern suburbs. We're glad to have you with us this evening.
Thanks, Kelly. We will both be managing the Q&A in case you have any questions during the presentation. So today you will have the opportunity to get an overview of our institution, as well as learn about our admissions process, cost of attendance, and scholarship opportunities. After the admissions presentation, we will have two representatives from the College of Engineering and another one from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences to talk more in depth about their majors and their students. Okay, so Iowa State University is located in the heart of the state of Iowa. It is approximately 45 minutes north of Des Moines and 5.5 from the city of Chicago. Ames is a college town of about 65,000 people, and out of those, about 35,000 are current college students. Ranked best college town in 2019 by 24/7 Wall Street and number 3 by livability, Ames has a lot to offer for our students, in addition to our top quality academics at Iowa State. Everything from coffee shops to outdoor activities and an attractive location for companies like 3M. Students can continue their personal development throughout their years at Iowa State. So let's look at our numbers. As of this year, we have approximately 33,000 cyclones on our campus, and 46% of those are coming from our state. Students from the state of Illinois represent the largest out-of-state population, so don't be surprised to find people from your neck of the woods on our campus. All 50 states are represented at Iowa State, as well as 115 nations. This naturally makes Iowa State a diverse place to learn about and from people that are coming from different places, cultures, and backgrounds, all happening in one place. Now you might be wondering, how do I find community when there are so many people on this campus? Well, one of the many ways that our students farther home away from home is by joining a club or organization. Currently, there are 900 active clubs on campus, and they range from academic to personal, or for fun, like I like to call them, clubs. And students join clubs based on their academic major, but also have the opportunity to connect with their personal interests, such as one of my favorite clubs on our campus, the Tea Drinking Club, or any sports club or cultural clubs. With these clubs, research opportunities, residence hall living, and campus activities, students create one amazing adventure. Iowa State is home to 7 different colleges. So we'll start with the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, which ranks top 4 worldwide and houses 24 majors such as animal science, agricultural systems technology, and horticulture. The Ivy College of Business is accredited by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business International and has 11 programs such as actuarial science, MIS, and marketing. The College of Design is accredited through the National Association of Schools of Art and Design, and their programs are accredited individually by their professional accrediting organization. They have 9 undergraduate majors with examples such as landscape architecture, which is ranked at number 10, interior design ranked at number 15, and architecture at number 22 by Design Intelligence in 2019. The College of Engineering, which you will be hearing from very soon, has 13 undergraduate degree programs, including cybersecurity engineering, mechanical engineering, and aerospace engineering. More than 70% of engineering students graduate with engineering work experience. The College of Human Sciences has 19 programs, and they vary from event management, which is ranked number 1 in the nation by schools.com, to athletic training and food sciences. So lots of variety in the College of Human Sciences. And last but not least, we have the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, which is home to the largest amount of majors. I think it's about 52 majors that they house. They're also a diverse college when it comes to their academic programs. They offer arts and humanities, math and computational sciences, physical and life sciences, and much more. They're also home to pre-professional programs such as pre-med and pre-law, and you will also be hearing from them soon after the admissions presentation for more details. This slide can be a little bit hard to read, but it just shows the 100 majors that we offer at Iowa State. Every college offers an open option program that allows you to explore different areas of studies within certain colleges or across campus. Students like the opportunity to double major or combine a major and a minor, which most colleges allow, simply because it opens more doors for opportunities. Our student to faculty ratio is 19:1, and all faculty who is teaching is required to have office hours. Now that is important because that's a great way for students to not only get their questions answered, but also a way to start thinking about what kind of research do you want to be doing on campus and what professors are talking about your interests and getting out there and doing presentations and just being able to get those experiences that will make you a competitive candidate for that future internship or, you know, that full-time job that we all hope to land when we graduate. Now, we're really proud of this statistic. 95% of our students are employed or in a graduate program within 6 months of graduation. This is thanks to the endless professional development opportunities on campus and to the career fairs that each college hosts every year. During these career fairs, employers from all over the nation visit the Iowa State campus to recruit students for internships, co-ops, and full-time jobs. Interviews usually take place on campus, so if the student finds an opportunity out of state, they won't have to worry about missing class due to a traveling conflict. Our large network of living alumni also seek out our students throughout the year and through SciHire, which is a portal for our students and alumni that provides information on professional full-time and internship opportunities for students. So now you will hear more about our requirements from my colleague, Kelly Allen.
Thank you, Dionis. We're going to talk a little bit about what you need to do to apply to Iowa State. All this stuff sounds great, and here's the details that you need to know about what you need to do to apply to the university. Iowa State University is on a rolling admission process. So what that means to you is that when you apply, there's not a wait time to hear back from us as to your status. It's an ongoing, rolling, every single day process. We have a number of different classes we want you to have taken in high school that are going to be considered in that process. We're looking predominantly at core subject areas, and there's 5 of them. That's English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language are the 5. And there's some minimums we're looking for in those areas as well. Everyone will need to have 4 years of English, 3 years of mathematics, 3 years of science, and if you're going into the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, they also want you to have 2 years of a single foreign language. LAS also wants to have a 3rd year in social studies. All of the other colleges require 2 in your high school classes, and all of those things come together for consideration for your admission to Iowa State. And if Gianni's going to change the next slide, we traditionally have used something called the Regents Admission Index Formula, or the RAI. What that is a formula that all 3 of the public universities in the state of Iowa use to give us a big overview of you as a student. That was in years past. We know that this year is different, and so there's some changes to that to your benefit. That RAI formula truly is all objective stuff. There is nothing subjective in our admission process. So we don't ask for essays or letters of recommendation. It's all kind of your academic merit and what you did in high school. Now, one of the pieces of that formula is going to be a test score. We will take either an ACT or an SAT score, and then take a look at those 5 core subject areas in your high school classes, and then your GPA. Well, now with this year and many testing opportunities being canceled due to the pandemic, the Board of Regents that oversees all 3 schools does give us the permission to be test optional for the 2021 school year. What this means to you as an applicant is if you have a test score that you want to provide to us, that's great. Maybe you've had a test score, but it was a while ago and you were counting on having a chance to take that test again and it has not happened for you. Know that you can choose to give us a test score or not. We'll not ask for you one from you down the line. You're just making that decision to let us know what you want to be considered in that regard. Now, for students who do have a test score and they do provide it to us, you will be evaluated through that RAI formula, taking all of your data and calculating it to get an ending score of 245 or higher for automatic admission. If you're not going to be providing a score, if you're not able to, we will then view your application based on a more holistic kind of review, looking heavily, all exclusively at your high school classes and your GPA. The RAI formula, that can be an instant notification as to whether or not you've been admitted. For students who don't have that test score, it will still be pretty quick, about 2 days time, and you'll still hear something from us. So that's the process now for the class of 2021. And one thing to mention too is that we are a part of the Common App. So if you want to be using that process rather than our institutional application, you can do that one as well. Either one is fine. We'll take either one of those from you. Okay, and then next, talks briefly about what our costs are at Iowa State. This gives you in-state and out-of-state costs. One thing I need to mention to you as well is that the Board of Regents held the costs for this academic year the same as last year, which was great. There was no increase either in-state or out-of-state for students who are coming to Iowa State for their costs. For Illinoisans, you'll kind of realize that our costs are pretty similar, if not a little bit less than it is to be at a public school here in the state of Illinois as an in-state student. So that's kind of a benefit to consider us too for that whole process. One thing we do have to offer as well, get that on the next slide, is we do have an unlimited number of merit scholarships. Bear in mind, this is something that's in progress right now, basically because of what we talked about as far as the admission requirements. We currently take test scores and we can't do that this year because that would not be a benefit to us as an institution or to you all as applicants. So those things are being worked on as we speak. We're hoping to have that details about those in October, but know that these are all automatic, unlimited in number. You'll be viewed for those and awarded the highest you qualify for. And if any of you have the benefit of having a parent or grandparent that graduated from Iowa State, that is what that Generations Award is all about. They're not stackable except for Generations. You would have the highest of those 3. They're not stackable, but then that Generations Award can be stacked on top of whichever one of the others that you have been awarded. We also have something too called One App, which is for scholarships all throughout the university. That's being worked on now. We hope to have that whole process open in October as well. And then our last slide will show you some of the social media ways you can stay in touch with them. So please do. Any of you who have applied and been accepted, you've been invited to join the Facebook Class of 2021 page. that's not 2021, 2025, the year you graduate from Iowa State. So please take advantage of that. It's a great way to connect with other students, learn where other people are from in the Chicago area or other places in Illinois, and kind of have a chance to meet people before you even come on campus. So what I will do is mute myself, and Diana will let go of the our presentation, and we'll turn it over to Sadie Johnson to talk to you about the College of Engineering a bit more. Thank you, Sadie.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Sadie Johnson, and I work in the Engineering Student Services area at Iowa State. The image, let me switch my display here quick. The image that you're seeing on screen is actually the building I'm in right now. It's Marston Hall. We are a pretty large College of Engineering, and the image that you see behind me as I'm speaking here, that's actually a photo that I took last week on the other side of the building. So there's about a dozen buildings that are just part of the engineering part of campus. We have 14 different engineering majors to choose from. The newest major on the list is environmental engineering. We just got that major this fall. There's around 7,000 total students in undergraduate students, in engineering. Mechanical engineering is one of the largest engineering programs of its kind in the United States. Cybersecurity is one of the other newest majors, but it is definitely growing because it's one of the hottest areas for jobs. Software engineering is on there, but that one is also in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, so you get the benefit of both colleges for that particular major. You can see a number of engineering minors on there. Biomedical engineering is one of our most popular majors. We don't have a biomedical major at Iowa State. However, you can still be get involved in biomedical research. So I'll get to that on one of my other slides. Cybersecurity engineering is great. Like if you wanted to do any of the engineering majors with a cybersecurity emphasis, it's going to be necessary in just about any of the areas. So it's a great way to diversify yourself. Engineering sales is particularly popular with our industrial engineering students because those students take a lot of business classes already. And then energy systems and non-destructive evaluation round out the list. So non-destructive evaluation is think about things that you don't want to break, but you want to evaluate them. So if you want to do an X-ray or an ultrasound or anything like that. We do have an engineering leadership certificate. If you want to further set yourself apart, you can also do that as a minor if you like, and there's some interdisciplinary minors that are popular as well. Now, there's lots and lots of minors at Iowa State, so it is possible to do things outside of the college, but this is what we have right now in the college. So that being said, there's a lot of choices, and that's one of the benefits about being at Iowa State. You're also admitted directly into the college, so there's no separate admissions process. If you are admitted to the university with the requirements that the ladies just told you about, you're also admitted directly into the College of Engineering. You choose your own major from the start. Now, if you don't know which major you want to choose, you can be undecided. You'd be called an undeclared engineer at Iowa State, and you would have anywhere from 1 to 3 semesters before you really need to choose. So one of the things that'll help you is an Engineering 101 class. It's an orientation course that's required by all of our majors. So if you chose materials engineering, you would just take materials engineering 101 and learn all about the opportunities in that particular department. If you want to be undeclared, you'll take the general version. People from industry will come in and speak to your course. People from different clubs, student organizations, there'll be department open houses, there'll be an engineering club fest, there'll be lots of ways for you to help explore which major you actually want to choose. And it's also very easy to switch back and forth between them. So the amount of time you have to be undeclared depends upon how quickly you are able to finish this list of classes. If you're the type of student that's taken a lot of the courses on this list already, you may want to explore majors earlier because by the time you finish this list is when you start having to get into your major specific courses. So Calculus 1 and 2 are going to be your basic building blocks for math. English 150 and 250 are the most common English classes that you can often find at other places as well. The English 250 is not actually part of the basic program of classes, but is still required by all of our engineering majors. By the way, you need to get a C or better in our basic program in order to move on to your upper level courses. The chemistry, that one may vary a bit depending on what major you choose. For example, chemical engineering or materials engineering or the environmental civil part of civil is going to need a different level of chemistry than, say, a more physics-based major like mechanical or aerospace. You'll have a problem solving in a programming class right away. So for example, in the aerospace engineering version of this section, they develop lighter than air vehicles that are basically remote controlled drones that they race around an obstacle course in the atrium of one of our large buildings. It's very fun to watch at the end of the semester. Physics is calculus-based physics. The orientation is the one I spoke about on the last slide. And then Library 160 is essentially how to use all the great physical resources as well as all the digital resources that we have to offer on campus. So we mentioned earlier that there's a lot of really great stats regarding careers. So we have one of the nation's largest indoor career fairs. Normally we have 3 per year, and there's a very large number of companies attend. This year we had 2 days worth of virtual fairs. So it was still a relatively large career fair, and the students were still connecting to employers. I'm actually finding out this week how many of my students have internships and where they're all going, because this is interview week on campus at Iowa State. But the Engineering Career Services Office is really great for students. They have free career workshops. They help you negotiate if you get offers, how to be professional about it. They help you figure out how to turn down jobs if you need to. They figure out how to help you prepare for interviews. They're a fantastic resource. And it's a big deal that you have help doing all of this because the companies are definitely still coming to Iowa State, even in recession years. So the sampling that you are seeing right now is a very small sample of the companies that come to recruit on campus. There's around 1,400 employers that recruit Iowa State engineers every single year. Now, one of the best things you can do for yourself as far as getting full-time job is to get some experience as a student. So we highly encourage internships and co-ops. These are not required, but more than 72% of our students will graduate with engineering work experience because number one, they pay really well. I mean, over $19 an hour on average between those two. But two, it gives you a reason to want to learn your studies. Like if you understand why you need to do something out in the job, it's a whole lot easier to pay attention in class. And employers, they want it. There's a lot of companies out there, NASA being one of them, that they won't hire you for full-time unless you've done an internship or co-op with them first. So the image that you see on the screen there, the student in the teal shirt, his name's Omar. He was working at a company called MITRE Corp in Boston, and he was working on the Internet of Things. So that means like all those things that you see in the image are like light bulbs and thermostats and things that you would find in your house that all talk to each other. And you have to realize that those things need to be protected because people can hack into your house. And so they were trying to figure out how to secure the Internet of Things because technology has advanced at a really rapid pace, and cyber security has kind of been an afterthought of some of these things. So now companies are trying to design objects that have security built into them from the start because they're realizing it's a big deal. Now, if you choose to do an internship or co-op, you still maintain full-time student status. It's even possible to do a parallel co-op. Say you're working 20 hours a week somewhere, but then you're also taking classes on campus. There's options out there for every individual situation. I have a student named Grant that works with me that this past summer, he actually lived in the Minneapolis area, but then he worked at a company called Western Digital in California. And so, especially with the pandemic, these didn't all go away. There were still options for students to do meaningful work. So another big thing or a good way to get experience is to do research. We're a Research One institution. So if you choose to do research at Iowa State, you can either get course credit or in engineering, all the opportunities are usually paid. It's a way to connect theory to practice, and it's a way to get skills and experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise. And honestly, one of the biggest benefits I see to it is developing relationships with your faculty members and grad students, because that's people that you're going to communicate with all throughout college, and then also have a stronger relationship with them for when you need somebody to give you a recommendation for a job. It's one of the best things you can do is make connections. So the signature research areas at Iowa State are listed on the screen here, and these are just in engineering. But noticed there are things like advanced materials and manufacturing, engineered medicine, engineering education, etc. These do not match up with the major names, and that's because engineering is incredibly diverse and everything overlaps. For example, in the screen is Dr. Sarah Bentel, and she's with one of our students, and they are looking at engineered medicine. What they're doing is they're designing a shock tube that will impact the brain. And the goal is to characterize the brain, but then also to see what happens when a blast goes through that tube and impacts it. And so you're trying to figure out sorry about that. Thinking about like if you had a soldier out in a minefield and a blast happened, what happens to the brain? Traditionally, helmets are set to protect the skull and not necessarily the brain inside. And so it's a mechanical engineering project, and they're trying to figure out ways to advance the helmet itself. There's other projects in industrial engineering where they're doing 4D printing, and they are trying to basically 3D print medical devices onto fabric. And so it can reduce the manufacturing time and costs to do that. There's other areas that have to do with microfluidics and genetics all in one project. Either way, there's a ton of opportunities in research at Iowa State, and it's a fantastic way to get experience and figure out what you want to do. So that brings me to the end of my section. If you do have questions later, the email engineering@iastate.edu will go to me. My name is Sadie. So it is a real person, but if you think of something later on, we'd be happy to help. I'm next going to turn it over to my colleague, Kathy, but thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, Sadie. My name is Kathy Hausmann, and I work in the recruitment office for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Showing the screen. Hope you can all see that. Sadie has already talked about some really great opportunities within the College of Engineering, and there's similar opportunities within the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. As was mentioned earlier, we are the most academically diverse college on campus, meaning we have the most majors in college. So there are slightly over 100 majors at Iowa State University, and as Brianna has said, there's about 50 of those in our college. We cover everything from advertising to physics. And so it's a really diverse college, and you can mix and match lots of diverse interests, as well as mix and matching diverse interests across the university. And so a lot of our students will have double majors, majors and minors, all those things, sometimes within the college and sometimes pairing with a major outside of the college. And it's all really a great opportunity for that. One of the exciting things that we have going right now is our scholarship program. So the college is very fortunate to receive a very blessed gift from a donor and his wife who were alum. And we have been able to really create different scholarship opportunities for students. So while students can have the opportunity to get academic scholarships, you can also get scholarships for research, for going on study abroad trips, unpaid internships, maybe student teaching. At Iowa State, if you want to be a high school Spanish teacher, you would major in Spanish in our college, and then you would get your endorsement through the College of Human Sciences and the School of Education. But the semester that you student teach, you may need some extra funding to be able to drive to the school where you're teaching, or to just not have to have another part-time job that semester because the teaching experience is pretty intense, right? And so we are able to support in all of those areas. And so that's been a really fun thing to do and to support students in. As Sadie mentioned, there are numerous opportunities to do research at Iowa State. We are an AAU school, so the American Association of Universities is one of the top 60 research universities in the country, similar to MIT, Stanford. And that means that everybody at Iowa State's doing research. And so regardless of your major, most of these pictures look fairly like researchy, right? Labs, lab coats, speakers, whatever. But everybody's doing research, right? So the accounting professors are doing research, the music professors, the world languages, history, English, psych. Everyone's doing research on campus. So regardless of your interests or what your academic focus would be, if you like research or want to explore that, we've got opportunities for it. And so you're working with faculty. The honors program allows you to do it right away your first semester or the freshman year. And then again, in our college, we have funding that you can apply for. You can become a Dean's High Impact Award recipient. And with that, you become a funded researcher, even at the undergraduate level. And so it's a really cool opportunity to get into that environment. We also have our own career services office, and every college on campus at Iowa State does. And so that's a really great benefit to you as a student, because the people then who are working with you related to resume writing, job searching, all of those things, they're really geared and tailored around your majors, right? And so working and looking with an engineering student about a job or an internship opportunity, could look really different than it does for a student in history or psychology. And so each office is really geared towards the particular majors in that special college, and they can really work with you to have your materials, present and working to be putting your best foot forward and telling your experiences the best. The one thing I do really want to highlight, though, that we just launched this year is our LAS Connect program. And it's an opportunity for our current students to connect with our alums. And so it's kind of like a LinkedIn sort of format, but it's just with the LAS people. So if you're an LAS psychology major and you want to know somebody, want to connect with someone who's doing like clinical counseling, you can work with that. We just recently have a student, Ben, who's at the Ohio State University in the medical school there. And he just joined the LAS Connect because he wants to be able to connect with students who want to apply and go to medical school. And so he wants to be a resource for them. So there's lots of neat ways you can do it. Everyone, a range of alumni are involved, and so it's a really cool opportunity. One of the things I want to touch on just briefly, the other programs, a large program that's in our college is called Open Option. And so Sadie mentioned about being an undecided engineering major. That's like if you want to be, you're pretty solid about engineering, but you're not sure exactly like civil or mechanical or chemical or whatever, you would go in undecided engineering. But if you are pretty wide open, like, wow, any major could really be a possibility today, then we want to encourage you to look at our Open Option program. You get to explore all the majors, regardless of what college you're in. About 20% of our student body is considered open option. If it was for sure a major, it would be the largest major on campus. You cannot graduate as an open option student, however. So we need you to pick a major. But you're going to have some very intentional and influenced work that you're going to do that in a successful manner. And so we've got this great class, LAS 101. There's a home learning community. We expose you to major fairs, major minutes, world of work tours. And so sometimes we have an idea that we want to work maybe in an industry or in some kind of profession, but we don't know the best way to get there. And sometimes we know we really like an academic discipline, but we don't know what we could really do with it. Like, how does it look in the job? And so this program allows you to come at it from either side, different angles, and think about what things do you want to do, how do you want to explore that, and work with you to do that. So it is a great option for you. We have lots of students that come into it, like I said, and it's a very intentional way to help you explore majors and find one that's going to be the best fit for you. Along with that, I just want to touch briefly on our pre-professional programs and tracks. And so again, pre-professional, being a pre-med or a pre-law student, it's not technically a major, it's more of a destination or an end goal. It's like saying, I want to get to Chicago from Ames. Well, there's lots of ways I could potentially do that. And so how do we get you to the destination that you want to do? And so we're going to work with you through our pre-professional advising that's available. Every pre-professional program has their own club, so you can connect with other students who are on that same goal or track. You can meet professionals in your field of interest. We often have doctors and pharmacists and other people come into those professional clubs to talk about their own journeys. How do you do it? How do you prepare? The professional school admissions boards come in, talk to you how to apply for a medical program or a law program. So they're really great. Helps you with your leadership and involvement on campus. And then just a few schools that students have recently been accepted to from our program. So our students are really competitive applicants and can do well in the program, and along with these other supports, have great opportunities to develop as an individual who can be a great medical or law professional. And here's my contact information. Like I said, I'm the Director of Recruitment for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. My email and my phone if you need to contact me for anything related to our questions tonight, we'll get to it. But at this point, I'm going to turn it back over to Kelly so that we can see what kind of questions might be out there and take it from there.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. One question that Deanna and I did both have coming in through the Q&A, there are a few questions about foreign language. There are some folks that wanted to know if they have not had 2 years of a single foreign language, does that automatically disqualify them for being admitted? And we are sharing with them that that is not the case. It could still be very possible that you would still be admitted, but you would need to make that foreign language requirement up if you were accepted and you do decide to enroll at Iowa State. That's one thing that popped up. And Deannis, was there another one that I missed? Don't think. I'll look real quick. Yeah, Deannis is having microphone issues, so gotta love technology, right? So that's the one question that did come up. One thing we should share with all the people that are out there watching us this evening is Deannis and I, in normal years, we'd see you in your high schools, but with us being a virtual world, we are also doing a lot of different high school visits virtually. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for things we might be sending you via email as far as doing a high school visit with one of us. There's also college fair opportunities that are taking place in addition to this program that you're doing through StriveScan. So keep those things in your mind's eye as far as kind of looking. It's harder to look for to visit a school right now. We are doing some in-person, limited amounts of in-person visits on campus. They're starting very slow to keep things more manageable. If you have not had a chance to do a virtual campus visit, you can schedule yourself to be in a virtual visit or an in-person visit through our website, www.iastate.edu. Admissions is the leftmost tab on the home page. That will get you directly to our campus homepage for our office where you can schedule visits that way too. One other thing I should mention to you that both Deannis and I are alumni of the university. So if you have questions from us that way, our contact information is on the website as well. You can reach out to us that way. We can answer questions for you and do what we need to help you out that way. There's not other questions that came through the Q&A. One thing I would want to mention too that pops into my mind is we talked briefly about, Kathy did a great job of talking about the open option program. You do not need to know exactly what you want to major in when you apply to Iowa State. Maybe you're a person who's torn between, I don't know if I want to be in management or marketing. You can be an undeclared major in the College of Business or undeclared in engineering, undeclared in human sciences. So you don't have to know right from day one. It helps us to if you let us know what you're kind of thinking of as far as advising and getting you connected with people that can help you figure those things out. One thing I want to mention too, to the people who are in the class of 2021 as far as applying, being that it is a different situation, if you don't have a test score that you can provide to us, or if you don't want to, it helps our campus staff as far as processing your application. If you can give us a transcript. We're a self-report school, but being this is a unique year, it does give the staff on campus a good idea to see exactly what you've had already in high school and what you're looking to be in your senior year. That can be an unofficial transcript. It does not need to be official, and it can be as simple as a screenshot too. So if you're able to do that, that certainly helps our campus staff out to get a better idea of what your academic past has been in high school and what you're looking at right now, and gives us a chance to get you an answer that much quicker. So that is something to consider if you are wanting to apply to the university. Other things, your mic working?
Is it working? Can you hear me?
Yay, it is.
Oh, yay. It's not giving me the warning button. So maybe this is the question that Kathy and Sadie can help us answer. But when I'm on the road, I get a question a lot about, I want to double major in this, or I want to major and minor in that. What are some of the recommendations that you have for students coming in, since when they apply to the university, they can only choose one major, and then they move on to the second one? And then maybe for some of the programs that don't, it's not recommended to double major or have a minor, what other opportunities are there for students to explore different areas?
Yeah, so, there's really a lot of, it's more of a housekeeping issue probably on our end, that we recommend that you only have one major when you start, just for tracking purposes and to keep it all balanced, and you know that we got you in the right spots to begin with. So, but really, first week of school, first day of school, once you get on campus, you can declare that second major if you really feel strongly about that. A lot of times people don't pick up the second major or the minor until after they've been to Iowa State for maybe a semester or two. Sometimes it depends on what kind of coursework you've done in high school. So if you're taking some college coursework in high school, you might realize like, oh, these kind of classes can count towards something else, right? Language is a good example of world languages. Like if you've taken 4 years or more of a single world language, you might want to take the placement test, because if you place into maybe 200 or 300 level Spanish, for example, 2 or 3 courses and you can have a Spanish minor, right? Which is super helpful, like with engineering majors, to have just a language. You know, so many companies and work have international offices. My husband works for this ag company here in Ames, and they have offices in Brazil and the Netherlands and Australia, and you wouldn't look at it looking at the building in Ames. So like you wouldn't go by and go, oh, that's an international corporation. But it is, and you just never know when you might go or be dealing with working with offices or base. So language is a great one to do if you have that. And then I think just what are your interests? And as Kelly mentioned earlier, you might have what seems like really diverse interests. Like I like this and I like this. And those things couple. And that's again where your academic advisors will work with you to see how that kind of integrates and fits together. Or it even says like, oh, you know, we do have a major that is kind of like that doesn't, you know, and they can help you put those pieces together and help you sort that out. But it's not, you know, don't stress about it, I guess, because there's lots of time to figure it out. And I always tell people too, like adding a major or a minor, it's a piece of paper, right? It seems like it's a big deal, like gotta do all this stuff, but really, we're just talking about filling out a form. And so the adding or the taking it away, if you think you're gonna have one and then you decide, no, I don't really want to do that. It's just a piece of paper. So we can really walk you through all of that. I don't know, Sadie, a lot of your majors are a little more structured in how you take the coursework. So maybe that it changes a little bit for how you would approach it. But in our college, at least, we can help you add or whatever really it is.
So if you choose engineering as one of your primary, as your major, then a lot of people will ask, like, what if I wanted to double major in electrical and computer engineering? And my response would be, that doesn't make sense, because there's courses called technical electives where you could have a major in one and then take your emphasis courses, your extra courses in another, and then you would learn about that. Because in engineering, it's not a double major. You'd have 2 actual separate degrees. So it would take you a really long time to do a double engineering major. What would be probably more beneficial for you is to consider a concurrent program. So for example, a concurrent master's degree. Instead of doing a 4-year engineering degree as an undergrad plus a 2 years master's program, you get both degrees in a total of 5 years instead of 6. The same thing applies for business. So you could minor in business, for example, or you could do a double major, but maybe you should consider a concurrent MBA program. And so same thing, you'd be finished with both degrees in 5 years, because the MBA is going to carry a lot more weight than a second undergraduate major. So it depends on your individual situation. If you want to double major in something like languages, like Kathy said, there's a languages for cultures and professions major that's really helpful for engineering, because not only do you learn terms in that language for general use, you also learn business terms. So there are a lot of options. Come meet with us at virtual visits. You'll get to meet with any of the departments or majors that you want to on those visits. We would be happy, to work with you one-on-one for your own situation.
Thank you all so much. I hope you guys learned a lot about the university, and if you have any questions for these, for anybody at the university, definitely let us know. Here is going to be a quick survey once you close out your tab. It's only 4 questions and it'll appear. Just a reminder that the sessions will be recorded, and you're able to go back to watch the session at any time. And you can also sign up for more sessions. And if there were any additional questions that you had, you can always reach out to the lovely presenters, and you can find their information on their website. Thank you all for attending, and you guys have a great afternoon or evening. Bye.